Hey, what's up, everyone? How are you? This is Fired Up Phil. I'm your host. This is another episode of Breathing Fire. The official podcast of BeastLIFE brand, a powerful brand for a new breed of believers. And today I've got my homeboy in the studio with us, King Jason. He's rocking the Beast swag. Jason's involved with us in the brand. He's a part of the brand. And we got some cool things that we want to chop it up on today for you guys. I guess we're going to roll around the topic of transformation. And so, I've known Jason for quite a while now, right? And we actually got, you started getting involved in the brand. Last year, we were doing a transformation, right? A weight loss transformation. And I hit you up, or no, sorry, I didn't hit you up. It was a Facebook social media post, one of the things that we posted, and you had responded to that. You hit me up actually and said, "Yo, how do I get in this? Like, I want to, I want to lose weight. I want to transform my fitness and stuff. I'm transforming my life." And one thing led to another, and that kind of started our bond and our relationship. So before we get into all that, let's rewind to kind of where you were back then, some of the things that were happening to you. We share a similar past, being that we were both kind of losers that were saved by the grace of God. Yeah. And so I think it's important to, kind of remind ourselves of our past, because when we do, I think our past does a lot of things for us. It serves us well if we allow it to, right? Reminding ourselves of our past is important because it gives us the opportunity to never want to go back there again, right? It reminds us of the pains and of the things that we experienced, and it serves as such good learning lessons and stuff. So let's kick it to you for a second and help us understand just a little bit about a brief history. Like, where were you back then? What were you going through? What caused you to want to make changes in your life when you were like, enough with this shit? I need to do something.
Yeah. Well, I was doing a pretty good job of just ruining my life completely. Alcohol, drugs, you name it. As I pretty much ran my life right into the ground and hit a bottom. Thank God that I was able to come back from. And it just got to a point where I was staring at myself in the mirror at 2 o'clock in the morning, hugging a toilet bowl, and 35 years old. Yeah, and you know what I mean? I had lost just about everything I had. And I just made.
What did you lose?
Family, jobs, just everything. I was very close to losing my house. That's about the only thing I didn't lose, and that was close. But just everything. I had a good business that I ran in the ground, and girlfriend left, and
So you were sitting that if someone would say, talk about hitting rock bottom, that's kind of where you were. You were at a point where you felt like you were rock bottom at that point. And so what was it, in that moment there that you were like, all right, obviously you said you look in the mirror, you realize that, hey, my life is not going, the way that I want it to go. A lot of people that are listening or watching, might be thinking the same thing right now. They might not be hugging a toilet bowl, but they might be at a point where they're and it could be just a plateau. It could be a lot of things that when you're like, hey man, that pain point hits and you're like, I am not where I want to be. So what helped you in that moment? Like what was it that you hit rock bottom, but what was it that pushed you forward? And
well, I just want more from my life, you know what I mean? And that was it. Everybody's got different bottoms and different, I've had many different bottoms, and this one just clicked for me. I made a decision right there, and I just prayed to God and I put effort in, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I woke up the next day miserable and went to a meeting.
Wait, you prayed to God and then you took action. You prayed to God and then you did something. So you asked for help, and then you actually said, I'm going to take some action here and make a change, right?
Yeah.
I think that's important because I think a lot of people want help or want to change, right? And they know that they want to, but they don't really take action on it. Sure. So what did you do? Give me some of the things, like what did you start to do that, caused this change to start happening in your life?
Well, just baby steps, really. Like I said, I went to a meeting first and foremost, and then I started getting involved in church. I took myself out of the negative environment that I was in. I'd love the bar. I like to hang out with that, and so I changed my environment. I started hanging out with different people, one of my best friends is one of the pastors in my church, you know what I mean? So like,
So you surrounded yourself
I-
in your environment, you
Right.
changed everything within your environment
Yeah.
around you to start supporting.
Yeah, I had to completely take myself out of the negative and put myself in positive.
Gotcha.
And just slowly and surely, one day at a time.
Gotcha.
The slogan sticks,
Well, let's stay there for a second, and let's talk about a couple of things that happened within that process. So first and foremost, let's talk about the fact that you reached out to God. And for some people watching or listening right now, maybe you don't have a relationship with God, or maybe you don't really have that, like when we talk about that real relationship, right?
Yeah.
The Beast Life type of a relationship with your creator is one in which you are in connection with him, and you're talking with him, and you're communicating with him on a regular basis. And it's not like God necessarily like audibly speaks to you and does all these things, right?
Right.
But when we seek him and we talk to him that's what prayer is, right? In your mind, you're seeking God, you're talking to him, you're praying to him. And then you took action.
Yeah.
And he answered that action by doing certain things within your life. And like, talk to me about a little bit about like, what is it like that happened, and what were some of the things that you kind of saw, or like, give me your thoughts on that whole, just the whole process of how that works. Because I think some people are kind of confused about how that works, or they don't understand how to actually walk with the Lord, so to speak, how to actually live a life of not just play church, not just read the word, whatever, but literally walk with God and like have that connection and that give and receive, that, I'm saying, that communication. And what are your thoughts on that? Like, how did it happen for you?
God gives you opportunities, and it's just certain situations, you just keep going and keep praying, and I just maintained that structure. I just stayed sober one day at a time. I kept praying, I kept asking for my life to get better or different things, and and I just kept putting the work in, and God just kept showing up, and it's the little
when you say putting
victories.
the work in,
Yeah,
you were taking action,
yeah,
and you were being consistent. So I'm sure there's days, right, when you didn't want to either go to church, or you didn't want to, you wanted to go back, right, to the bar.
Staying sober was the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was a struggle, is an understatement,
Yeah.
because that's what I was. That's who I was.
That's how you identify it. That's what you were used to.
Addiction is real, and that's it, but it's not impossible. So
nothing's impossible to the believer.
that's it, and so I just stuck with it because I wanted it, and even though it was a struggle, I want to be the best I can be in everything I do. I knew who I wanted to be. I knew who I was deep down inside. I just let things take over. And
gotcha. Let's talk about that for a minute. Then you said you wanted to be the best that you could be. Is that like striving for that, right? Is something that I think that gives people a lot of purpose, right? Understanding like who they are, and understanding what the kind of potential that they have inside. We always teach in Beast Life that you've been given, like the day that you've been given, like right now here where we are, is a gift. It's literally called the present, right? Like that's remarkable. So we call it the present, and it is a gift, right? Because we're literally here, and we have the opportunity right now, still we're breathing, to be able to uncover our talents and develop them, and then use them, right? And a lot of times, like what we teach, our life, like that's what the purpose is to be able to utilize those talents to serve others and help others. And in the process, what that ends up doing is that it ends up glorifying God and lifting him up. And it's like, when we don't utilize our talents, or if we don't find them, we're literally wasting them, right? And that's not cool. Like, we're wasting the gift of those things, and everybody has like talents within them that they need to uncover and use. So if you're going to be the best version of yourself, which you're doing, I mean, you're kicking ass right now. We'll get into the working out thing right in a second, but you're working on every area of your life, really. I mean, you're working on your finances, you're working on your fitness, you're working on, creating you're working on making yourself the type of person that you want to be, which is more and more like Christ, right? And so I think that when you have that mindset, and that's what you're aspiring for every day, is to be better than you were yesterday, right? Like we were talking about, like, if you have that mindset, it's kind of like Tom Brady, right? Like why does this dude keep working so hard? Like,
Yeah.
what's the point, right? He's already the best quarterback by far in the league, that in the history of the league, and there's not even a close second. Yet this guy continues to go out there and compete like he's never won a championship before.
Yeah.
Right. And that is so that there's so many lessons to be taken from that, because it's within that, version, becoming the best version of yourself, that it's because let's look at that for a second. Like on the field, you're in competition with the other players, right? But in truth, we're all in competition with ourselves. And at the end of the day, that's what every one of us needs to work on, is competing with ourselves, because you don't want to get up at 6:30 in the morning and go to the run on the treadmill, right? So you're competing with yourself to make yourself the best version of you, and become closer to the champion, the warrior, the king that God made you. And so I think that's just really cool. You have anything you want to add to that, or?
No, I think, pretty much that.
Yeah. So you're in the process right now of working on growing yourself and kicking ass. And so when it comes to the fitness and stuff, so let's just go and help the people that are listening understand where you were the first time, and then we'll kind of kick into where we are now. So you were at what weight, and then you dropped to what weight last time we were doing this?
Last January, I was like almost 150 pounds. I was like 147 pounds.
Okay.
And so I did the burn your fat challenge, and my lowest, I got down to 187.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn good.
It's good. I gained a few pounds back over the summer.
Okay. That's okay.
But yeah, I still maintain that beast life. I want to be the best I can be, and I got some things going on in my life that's feeding a fire right now, and I just I'm taking all that negative energy and I'm just putting it into making myself even better.
Nice.
And fitness and everything. I want to be the best at everything I can do. Everything I do, I want to be the best at.
Right. That commitment to excellence.
Yeah. I just want to be good. And that's it. So
awesome. Well, I'm proud of you. I mean, I've watched you transform yourself. The first time, because I know you, I watched you, obviously give up the drink and everything like that, make those changes. Then you started to put your health in order. Then I watched you start to work on, your career and your finances and all those things. And so like you've literally been taking each area of your life.
Yep.
And you've been taking control of it. Right. Like we don't let life dictate us. We take control of life, right? We take it captive and we say, no, we're going to become the person, and we're going to walk in the prosperity that God is trying to lead us and guide us into. We're not going to sit here and allow all the other obstacles in life and all these things to dictate and determine like who it is that we are. We know who we are. Right. And so I think that's awesome. And that's really what like transformation is about. It's about taking control of, your life in all the different areas, whatever area you're trying to transform presently, taking control of that area and making that, creating the type of future that you want in it, not allowing it to create you and to dictate like who you are in it. So we can't obviously go past environment when it comes to that. So let's talk about like, I think a lot of times you have people that I'm sure there's people watching right now, and I'm sure you're going to weigh in on this, but there's people right now that know where they want to go, right? Now, if you know where you want to go, that's cool, because that plants the vision, right? That starts the seed right there. You got to know where you want to go. So it's like planting the seed in the ground. But now we got to get that seed to grow. We got to nurture that seed, right? One of the best ways to do that is to understand why you want to do that, right? So you could probably weigh in here. So you were going through these transformations. You had different things. Like, what is it that was driving you when you were making your changes? You have reasons behind, like you said you wanted to change your life, you wanted to change your fitness, all these things. Like, did you know, like inside, like, did you have reasons why you wanted to make these changes? Or
Well, I just, like I said, I ran my life completely in the ground, and I knew where I wanted to be, at a certain age,
Yeah.
and I had completely thrown it all away. And that doesn't mean that it's over, you know what I
Yes.
mean? I'm just starting over, which is fine. So a little bit different goal oriented, but still.
But you were probably, if you think deeply, were you motivated because you felt like you needed to be a better dad to your kids?
Sure.
I mean, were
Yeah.
you motivated by the fact that you felt like, you were at a point in your life with an age wise, and you were not living up to the
Yeah.
potential and the expectation, and so you knew that you wanted to do that, right? Like, because I in my coaching and mentoring and just research and evaluating my own life, I feel like one of my gifts is the gift of discernment, which is like kind of being able to dig deeper and break down reasons why shit happens, like, so to speak, right? And one of the things that I've learned is that there has to be a driving why
Yeah.
behind the reasons why people do things. And I think if sometimes you can, in your case, when you were going through those, you might have been more aware of exactly like what was driving you. But I think that I haven't really experienced anybody who's made transformation that hasn't had a significant why, like driving the vehicle,
Yeah.
so like when right now you have reasons why you want to, get in shape and you want to do things, right? You want to, obviously you have reasons why you made those changes, right? So the point of where I'm going with this is that the first step is to know where you want to go. The second step is to understand why you want to get there, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's just a really important, ingredient to changing it, because there's a lot of people that they want to go from point A to point B, but they don't get there. So
Right.
you have to ask yourself the question, well, why don't they get there? Because I've tried to steer people and coach people that, like, man, you know why you want to. I gave you the plan to get there. You know why you want to get there, right? At first they didn't know why. Then you give them the reason why, and then it's like, okay, so why then at that point did they not do it?
Yeah.
And that's where we get into the environment,
Yeah.
right? And so help me understand here. So if you know why and you know where, so what's that missing factor in between for the people that quit? It typically comes down to because they were not in a supporting, nurturing, productive environment that's going to help them go there, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that if you were if you were hanging out with the same people, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't make those changes in environment, but you knew you wanted to, change the drinking and stuff like that, would it have worked?
No.
No way,
100%.
right?
I had
No
to take
chance.
myself completely out of that situation, and I had to change everything. I had
Right.
to change my whole lifestyle.
Right. And that's on a more dramatic note, right? Because you were experiencing it. But let's not pass by this happens on a more subtle level that people don't realize, right? So like let's use fitness for example. If you want to get in shape, right, that you really need to create that supporting environment for you, because if you're hanging out with other people that and all they want to do is just kind of hang out, they want to, they want to drink, they want to eat, they want to do all these things, and that's the lifestyle that they're living,
Yeah.
you're gonna fall victim to it. I mean, you
Yeah.
can only resist so long.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, you can't.
You can't. I think God is more impressed with people who avoid than try to resist, because resisting is great, but it's not going to last. You can't. The
Yeah.
tempter is going to get you.
That's what it is. So you're not really concentrating on changing your life when you're putting yourself in the same situations, because you might get a select few, but it's, what I mean, it's hard. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? When you want to change something, you have to change the whole
The
thing.
whole thing, the whole dynamic, which
Everything.
starts with understanding where you want to go.
Yeah.
Well, then it's understanding why you want to go there. And then it's realizing, well, you need to reshape your entire
The
environment,
whole
that
thing.
the whole thing. So you need to now, what does that mean for somebody who wants to, improve their finances or whatever, right? Okay. So wherever you are right now, well, where do you want to be, you want to make more money, right? So why do you want to make more money? You need to understand why you want to make more money, not just because you want to make more money, but you need to understand the root reasons. Like, what is it that money is going to do for you, right? And then you got to ask yourself, what is it that I can change about my environment? How am I going to support this, right? So for the people that are, watching, I don't know, South Park every day or something, like what are you putting in? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Like we got right over there in the wall, iron sharpens iron,
Yeah.
because that is what we're talking about here. It's so important. It's the missing link that most people, kind of they. It's probably the harder thing. It's the harder thing to do.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the harder thing to do is to say, well, you know what? I got this, and this involves me taking my time to make some changes, maybe make some new relationships. Maybe instead of listening to the radio while I'm driving in my car, I'm gonna listen to some audiobooks or podcasts, right? I'm gonna get up a half an hour early so that I can read a personal development book or read the Bible or whatever. And so, it's those types of things that are what shape your environment, that are going to keep you motivated to moving towards where you want to go.
And the discipline to continue that.
The discipline to continue.
Anybody can do that for a week or two, and which most of the time happens, oh, I'm going to do this, give New Year's an example, and it lasts a week or two, and then that's it,
Yes.
And it's so simple to go back, and
so why do they go back, right? Because exactly what we're talking about.
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy.
It's what they're used to. It's easy.
Change is hard.
Change is very hard.
No matter what it is, change is hard.
Yes.
And
you have to be prepared for it to be hard.
Yeah.
But then what's cool is
it gets
easy.
Yeah.
And then it becomes your lifestyle and you become used to it.
Yeah.
Once you level up and you get to that point where now you've created a new environment and you're used to, reading a personal development book, and you're used to go you're used to going to church, or you're used to, all these different things, then it becomes.
The gym is hard the first month.
Totally.
And you know what I mean? Now I love it.
I love it.
I don't say it's easy, but you know what I mean?
Yes.
Now it's a good routine that I enjoy doing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And it's easy to level up,
And in the beginning, right, it was hard. You weren't comfortable there. You didn't know exactly what to do, right? So you got to go through, I need to learn how to work out. I got to figure out, right? And then, so you overcome all that, bit of uncomfortableness, but it goes even deeper. Like we're talking, it's like, well, just to get to the gym, right? Because, so you got to be around and, change the environment so that it's supporting and pushing. Go buy a fitness magazine, or they don't even really to sell magazines anymore, right? But go online and read, fitness stuff. And like you need to saturate yourself with the things that you're trying to accomplish, because that's what it is that's, going to nurture you and support you and keep you moving forward. And so I just think it's just vital to being able to get where you want to go. So for all the listeners out there, but don't take that for granted, because I think a lot of people, including myself, this is not something that you get past. It's like, no matter what it is you're trying to accomplish, you have to ask yourself these questions, right? And say the same thing, no matter whatever level you're trying to level up to, whether you're trying to earn 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, wherever that is where you are right now, and you're trying to get to a certain level. You've got to ask yourself the same questions. Who am I surrounding myself with? What am I doing? Where I am now is a result of, all of the things that I have going on here within my environment and within these things. And if I need to change to get to another level, you got to be willing to do it. And so I'm super proud of you and excited that, you've got sky is the limit for you. Yeah. You've been kicking ass. You've been showing up early. You've been staying late.
And I'm going to the top.
Your thing. You're going to the top. And
I'm gonna look good doing it.
There you go. You are gonna look good doing it. Yeah. And we're gonna have some more fun on some future episodes of Breathing Fire. So we're gonna try to chop it up a little bit here together on a regular basis. We've got some really cool things, moving forward. We're going to be a lot more committed to the podcast and the blog. If whoever's watching right now, do me a favor, whatever platform you're watching on, if it's a podcast, subscribe. If it's on the YouTube channel, subscribe, give us some comments, some likes, help us spread the word and rep the rock, because that's what it's all about. Yeah, we're not here to just glorify ourselves. In the process, we're here to, rep the rock. And BeastLIFE brand is God's brand. It's not our brand. We don't take any money from this brand. We give into this brand. We sow seeds into this brand so that we can spread the word and make it something special for people out there, and glorify God the way that He deserves to be glorified. Not like the sissy we were talking about that other people kind of perceive, but rep the rock the right way. So in closing, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I think we're pretty good. I'm just I'm grateful for the brand. I'm grateful for just to be a part of something, and I'm grateful to be changing my life and bettering myself and being the best I could be.
Awesome. And I'm excited to see what type of potential in person that is in 1 year from now, 3 years from
Yeah,
now, 5 years from now.
yeah,
Because as we know, all things are possible to the believer, and with God, all things are possible. So, on that note, go be a bigger thinker today and go believe that all things are possible. Go find out where you want to be, find out why you want to be there, and then go shape your environment to get you there. And on that note, I'm going to sign off. Peace out. God bless. We love you. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Breathing Fire. And we promise to work on bringing you more and more fire, better and better episodes. And on that note, we're going to tune out. Peace.